we're live. I'm not going to be fiddling around with Facebook. I don't know why they do it, but every time you go live with a video, it automatically switches it to private mode, and you cannot edit the private mode whilst you are live streaming. It locks it out so you can't do anything, which is immensely frustrating. But yeah, it's incredibly frustrating. I don't even know why it does that. But anyway, so so there's been a few updates with respect to, so this is the IMVU, so this is just a quick stream to update some of the previous discussion about the changes that were made to the creator program. The royalty program. So they introduced the promotional feature, and obviously they suspended the royalty cap. And there was something else as well. But last week, yes, more or less last week, they announced some early feedback, so I'll just copy paste that to the document. So copy paste, let's make this larger so that it's easier to see. So select all, so what we have, so this is based on a couple of days, as it says at the top there, product promotion feature, early insights. So this is after, I think, a couple of 3 or 4 days of running the promotion, the product promotion feature only to Emerald VIP users. So the feedback or the insights that are going to be listed are based on the data that came from those early VIP subscribers purchasing the feature. So we've gathered early data from the first few days since launching blah blah blah. These insights are part of our ongoing effort to keep creators informed about the new developments and early outcomes of recent introduced features. So this is good, that they are going to be taking seriously keeping creators informed about what's going on. So the data helps us understand how the feature is being used, the impact on sales, and how it can be continued to support creator growth. While these events are still early, in 3 days, 4 days, will continue to evolve as we collect more data. The results so far are promising. So the critical aspects or elements of the data that they have been incited into. So evaluated the first 270 products. The first 270 products, or is that all that was promoted? Did they only promote 270 products? That's an odd statement. So did only 270 products get promoted, or do they mean that this, by first they mean this initial test? So 270 products, 3 days. Every creator saw an increase in sales, in overall sales. Within the 270 products, there was an average of pretty much 500% growth in daily sales. Case studies show that creators who promoted products also saw more activity across their entire catalogue, with roughly 25% more unique items sold and up to a 40% increase in sales of non-promoted items. Only 7 of the 400. Oh, only 7 performed worse. So this is interesting. These were mostly already strong or top performing items. So, per the discussion that we had previously, product promotion is only going to be useful for items that are, well, items that aren't the top sellers. So if you want to promote quiet items that are not selling well or just being ignored, you promote those rather than your top selling, because it doesn't seem to affect that in relation to the top selling items. So we're currently investigating. So we'll mark those spots. Product performance. So products that previously sold 0 units per day averaged 40 sales. Products selling fewer than 5 items. So what is that? So roughly we're talking about, is that a 400% increase on this? And then, so that's sixfold, 600%. Is that my math? Internet math warning on that. So products that averaged more than 5 daily sales saw 707 increase in daily sales. Products that averaged more than prior to so this prior to relates to this. So if the sales were decent before using the promotion feature, and you were already getting decent sales, then you wouldn't necessarily get a 707% increase on daily sales. Or would you? Because that seems contradictory. This seems contradictory to this. Promoted products also remain higher in search results even after the promotion ends. So this was one of the questions that we were asking or wondering about, is what happens to products during and after the promotion has ended. In order for the promotion to function, is it pulling the product out of its position in the catalogue organically, so its organic position in the catalogue, and then promoting it in the special section, and then once the promotion is finished, it just reverts back to its original organic position, which this indicates or kind of implies that if it's a product that's being placed well in the catalogue before promotion, it remains relatively well placed after promotion. So promo credits. So this is the one thing that higher ratios of promotional credits for sales during promotions. So this is where, for creators, this is all, it's not moot per se, but having this increase in sales, increase in income, increases across the board, as all of this seems to be indicating, is moot. It's completely irrelevant if that results in higher use, and it did, based on the feedback, the boots on the ground in the trenches feedback from some of the creators that were posting in the community. They were basically saying that what ended up happening is, yes, you get 1,000% increase in your daily sales, but that 1,000% increase is, well, it's all based on free credits. So people with free credits, a mountain of free credits, are purchasing promoted items, which for creators means that they are earning developer tokens, DTs. So regardless as to how much your item is worth, so let's say 1,000 credits, for each sale of that 1,000 credit item, let's say you have your profit at 500, you get a developer token, a DT. That basically is worth 10 credits. So for every sale, you lose 490. Well, you actually use the 500 and the sale overall, because there's not much you can do with developer tokens as a creator. So yeah, you get your 1,000% increase, but that is offset by the fact that so many items are being purchased using free promotional credits, which essentially then means that the creator is only earning developer tokens, which are completely useless because they're not monetized. You can't monetize them. They are not, what's the word? You can't claim. So if we're talking about the royalty program and cashing out, you can't cash out against developer tokens. So that is, let's say for the sake of argument, again, 1,000% increase in your daily sales. This thing alone, this fact alone, combined with this, makes the promotional feature for royalty creators in the royalty program, it makes it, well, the bottom line is that it's not worth it. Yes, you get your increase in sales, which means that your metrics increase, so you become a higher tier creator, so you might bump up from tier 7 to tier 10 based on your sales. But what does tier 10 mean when your sales are essentially predominantly promotional credits, which then means that you are earning nothing? So you're spending the money for VIP, and you're spending the money for the advertising, and in return you're getting a lot of sales, but those sales aren't even useful credits. You can't even use the credits because it's developer tokens. You get developer tokens. And it's not just higher ratios of promo credits, it's some creators are finding upwards of 90% of their sales from promoted items are promotional credits, which means that 90% of their sales income are DTs. We can't do anything with developer tokens, DTs. So it's not so much throwing good money after bad. It's just that it's from a royalty creator's perspective, it's not worth it. It's not worth promoting your items, unless of course you're talking about using promoted items for brand awareness rather than necessarily sales, or you're using the sales as a means to brand awareness. So promoted items, products attract more guests. So promoted products. So this is important. So some it should be promoted products may be attracting more guest and lower spending accounts. That doesn't seem right because where are all the developer token? Where are all the free promo credits coming from? Guest accounts need to do surveys, tasks to earn credits, promotional credits. So are they saying here that there are more free users buying items based on being promoted than high rollers buying items? Which could contribute to the increased credits of the products, blah 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 blah. Continue to analyze it. Next step. Sales. So, want to understand how promotions may impact visibility, sales, and discoverability across the broader catalog. Input helps us refine blah 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 blah. So yeah, it obviously looks like promoted items are indeed helping increase quite dramatically sales on certain items, and in particular sales of items that are not as popular in a creator's catalog. So top selling items, don't advertise those, don't promote them. Mid or bottom success items, those are the ones that you want to be promoting. But if you are a royalty creator, the income that's being earned by using the promotional feature doesn't seem to be worth it from a raw income. So that's income that you can use to cash out. Doesn't seem to be worth doing it from that perspective. If you do it from the point of view of using it as a marketing tool, so you are gaining brand awareness through the sales of your items, so you don't want the credits or the income, you want the awareness. So it's the branding that's associated with it, it's not necessarily the sales. Otherwise, it's not monetarily worth it based on the reality that creators are finding, particularly with developer tokens, with the DT issue. But, so that's the first update. Right, so they amended the tier system. And they did another one. So let's just drop that in. This is a proposed adjustment to the tier system. So what would this do? Discussion stage. Discussion. We'd like your input before moving forward. Adjusting tiers. We are considering. We are considering lowering the catalog item requirement for tier progression. The goal is to reduce excessive submissions of low effort or repetitive products made primarily to increase tier level. So lowering with the catalogue item requirements for tier progression. So is that going to allow... So instead of having 30 products per month to gain your tier points, is that going to be 20? The goal is to reduce excessive submissions, because that seems contradictory. If you want to reduce excessive submissions of low effort or repetitive products made primarily to increase tier level, then you would raise the catalogue item requirements for tier progression to make it more costly, essentially, to submit what they're essentially calling junk, low effort and repetitive products. So I'm not quite sure what that means in relation to this, because that seems contradictory. This adjustment would help maintain catalogue quality, discourage mass submissions, and ensure that creators who publish thoughtfully, not disadvantaged. Yeah, so that's lowering catalogue item requirements. Yeah, that seems contradictory. Adding a peer review vote requirement. Another proposal is to require peer review participation to earn points in the creation category. For example, a creator might need to complete 5 peer review votes per product that counts towards their creation score. This would encourage more active participation in peer review, helping reduce... So what they're doing is basically gamifying or incentivizing doing peer review. But anybody that's done peer review knows good luck with that, because if you do... So the problem with peer review that established creators know full well is that if you rate products correctly, air quotes, as in relation to the virtual goods policy, and you're the only one that does that, you will be dinged for what is then a bad review, because your review isn't in line with the other 10 people that reviewed that same product. And I don't see any of this addressing that fundamental problem. So it's all very well gamifying it to give peer review points, but those points don't nullify the general user going through peer review to earn credits, misvoting and incorrectly voting items in peer review because they're not creators, so they don't follow the virtual goods policy. So what do they care about compliance with the virtual goods policy? They don't have an account to lose, or royalty being participant in the royalty program, of getting booted out of that. Because if you do too many, I don't know if this is still the case, but the case used to be that if you did too many bad peer reviews, your account would be penalized for doing that. I can't remember whether it wasn't suspension. I don't remember if it was suspension or not, but this is one of the reasons why mature creators that have been there for a while at IMVU don't do peer review, because you get penalized for voting and doing it properly, because there's no checks against people just shoving items through peer review just because they want the free credits. Right, so you're not necessarily going to be penalised for not doing peer review. Well, not participating in this points system. What this means for creators, these proposals are still under discussion. So remember folks, it's just a proposal, it's just a discussion, and have not been implemented. We're gathering feedback before deciding. The goal is to ensure the system rewards genuine creative effort and meaningful participation across the community. We want to keep peer review effective, balanced, and beneficial for all creators. Yeah, so unless they address the problem of poor and misrated peer reviewing, these kinds of solutions won't necessarily solve that problem of peer review being a bit of a mess. But, so that's peer review update. What's the other update? The other update... self-deriving. So this is no longer possible. Well, you can still self-derive, but you can't profit off it. So this is one way of potentially solving the catalog gaming, where deriving from your own items in the past was used to boost your derivation sales, not sales, it's the number of derivations that a given product had affected your tier points. And of course, if you derive from your own products and then you derive from the derivation and you keep going through down the chain, you increase your derivations without actually contributing anything to the catalog. So I guess all of these changes are trying to minimize or mitigate that chain derivation, zero change derivable catalog gaming that's been going on since the very beginning, and preventing that kind of strategy from being something that can be monetized with either real credits or promotional credits, whatever it is, but it then means that you won't be able to cash out from the royalties program. So that's actually a good thing in some senses, but again, it's going to be a contentious one. And then the final issue is updating the creator program, the creator promotional thing. They've now made it available to Platinum VIP creators. So that basically means anybody that can create can now promote their items. So if you don't know, in order to create and publish products into IMVU, the sale, you have to be Diamond, Platinum or Emerald VIP. Gold is the lowest tier, and that just gives you access to the general VIP program, but you can't publish products into the catalogue on Gold. You have to be Diamond, Platinum or Emerald. But now they're expanding it, so they're going to get a colossal... So what is that? 10 days? Less than 2 weeks? Platinum, Diamond. This feature produces a powerful way. Yeah, that's sales speak. To support this feature, we're introducing creator coins, which we've discussed before. You have to buy the coins with cash, with USD. You have to buy the cash. you have to buy the coins with cash in order to then use the coins to buy the promotional product feature or buy into. And there is speculation that the creator coins is going to be a feature that's going to allow creator-specific functions and features to be accessible by just creators. In-platform currency. Yeah, so yeah. Well, it says exclusively for creator promoted products right now, but it probably will likely expand to other creator-specific features because it's a separate currency. Got to monetize this as best as possible. As permission managed, optimize, ability credits and developer tokens, insurance system. So how much are creator coins worth versus developer tokens? Developer tokens are worth 10 credits per sale. So is this IMVU setting themselves up for creators earning creator coins and then cashing out creator coins via Uphold third-party service in the same way that Vcoin, Vcoins are an in-game cryptocurrency thing that you can cash out against? Is this angling for creator coins being a creator-specific virtual currency that IMVU is going to offset the obligation and liability for payout through the royalty program, and what they're going to do is push it through a third-party service like Uphold where you would cash out instead? Is that what's going on here? Let's highlight that with green. So is that what's going on with creator coins? Is that the future of creator coins? The creator coins are going to be a replacement for creators earning credits and their ability to cash out of the royalty program from IMVU directly, and instead that that obligation to IMVU is going to be outsourced to Uphold or whatever third-party service they use, and that is where you would cash out your creator coins. Is that what's going on here? And promoted products is just the first step in doing that. Is that what's going on here? The how it works, credit and purchase creator coins at the shop using them as promoted products. Yeah, blah blah blah. We know how it works. Availability. Now, available plan diamond creators. Next step, the features early release to emerald creators allow us to monitor its performance and collect feedback. Expanding access to platinum and diamond VIP creators marks the next phase of rollout as we continue to refine pricing, duration, options, and visibility settings based on real world usage. If you do not see the option to promote products, close and reopen IMVU Studio to ensure the feature becomes visible. So, one unanswered question here is what was asked previously, which is how many promoted products appear in the catalogue at any given time? Is the catalogue going to be flooded with promoted products? And is IMVU vetting those promoted products? What's stopping somebody from promoting branded or copyright misappropriation products? You know, the usual brand names that you can think of if you think about copyright. Is that what's going to be done here? So they're not being vetted, nobody's vetting them. So now that this is accessible to all creators aside from gold, And we're now going to find that most of the promoted products are going to be brands that aren't, well, pretty much nobody on IMVU has permission to sell branded content. The only times that that's actually been done is the brands commissioned creators to create the products for them. Those products were then handed over to the brands, and the brand store then sold them through IMVU. That's how it normally works. So anyone that's operating and selling branded, air quotes, content doesn't have the appropriate paperwork to be doing that. So are we now going to see the promoted feature swamped with branded products? And is there a way to report them? But these are the three main updates. So we've got early insights, so sales. Promoted products is mainly going to be useful from a branding awareness point of view, not necessarily sales, because even if you are earning just credits, you're not earning credits, you're earning majority going to be DTs, because based on the feedback the community found itself, most of their sales were promotional credits, which is DTs, which we can't use, can't monetize. So what's the point? And what's that? Promoted credits. Adjustments to the creator tier system. And then self-deriving. Can't do that anymore, or it's, well, you can't profit from it. And then finally, creator product promotion feature is now available to everybody, apart from gold. So those are the 4 updates since the last live stream, and we'll try and get Miss Maya on one of these at some point as well to talk about this, but had a few minutes to just discuss these updates, these latest updates to the creator program, sort of follow on from our previous streams. So it's a bit sort of meh. It's a new feature or new features, but again the fallout from it isn't really mentioned or discussed, so that's something for the community to raise. So meh. Right, well, we'll call it quits there, because this was just a quick update on what's been going on within the creator space. And we shall see what happens in the coming days, weeks, and see if they update anything else. So, thanks for lurking, lurkers, and we shall see you on the next stream, whenever that is.